Hello, thanks for joining us. Today we'll be speaking with Josh Paley and Todd Purcell from EPAM about the need for banks to go beyond transactional to engage with their customers. Josh and Todd lead the financial services digital practice for EPAM North America. First, let me give you some background on EPAM. Since 1993, EPAM has leveraged its software engineering expertise to become a leading global product development, digital platform engineering, and top digital and product design agency. Welcome, Todd. Welcome, Josh. Thanks for being here today. Why don't we start by you giving me a little bit of information about the digital practice and EPAM in general?
Sure, Danielle. Thank you so much. EPAM helps our clients to bring together solutions that meet market needs. And that comes through understanding customer desires. It comes from understanding business needs and what's viable for the business and what's feasible from technology. Our digital practice specifically brings together industry perspective and a digital mindset, centered in the fact that you got to be human-centered to get some of this. And to do that, we understand that what a person brings to any experience is what they know from Spotify, from Google, from TurboTax. And if a bank portal or application can't bring that same degree of simplicity, of value, of smarts, it's not going to succeed.
That's right. People are looking for it to be just like their consumer products. Todd, it's good to see you again. In our last chat, I know we talked about the risks involved with moving to digital banking. Can you talk a little bit about the opportunities and challenges that presents?
Great seeing you again as well, Danielle. Yes, with the pandemic, we saw a massive shift to digital. And we've seen that hold steady for most demographics through the pandemic. And we expect that to increase over time as more and more customers look to interact with their bank digitally. That's good for the bank because they now have an efficient channel to interact with their customers, and also good for the customers because they have another channel they can use to also interact with their bank. But if that interaction becomes really around checking their account balance, paying a bill, or doing a remote deposit capture, then you become a utility versus a true friend, and that's the problem where you have less of a connection with that customer. In our 2021 Global Consumer Survey, over half the customers said that they are looking for a friend rather than a utility. And that requires the bank to think about things differently. It requires them to think about going beyond transactional.
That's a great point. And one stat that supports that is that the portal, that customer's first interaction and primary interaction, is 2 to 3 times more often visited than all the other channels combined. So what we see is that if it is something that's only used for transactions, it becomes a commodity and it's no longer differentiated and it's easily replaceable. The opportunity is to see it more as a digital storefront, to put together engaging content and to try to drive value to that customer beyond what they came for. Back to the digital survey, what we saw was that in those under 55, which is a growing population and what's most important moving forward, those individuals are seeking better tools from their retail bank experience. And an even greater percent, over 55%, are seeking digital guidance to support their saving and retirement journey.
So how would you recommend building deeper engagement?
So as Josh just referenced, the digital storefront concept, and that's important. A bank needs to think about their web experience and their mobile experience as that digital storefront. Just as much as they think about the physical layout and appearance of their branch system, bring that same thinking to the web and the mobile experience as well. It is the largest manifestation of your brand. It is the single heaviest touch point you have with that customer, sometimes multiple times a day. So go beyond transactional, as we've talked about, go beyond a utility, and think about giving customers access to tools to help them, like a financial calculator or a spending analysis tool. Think about providing customers content around a life moment, a wedding, or a expanding family. Content that drives a conversation, helps that customer in that moment of need. Think about topical content around a rising rate environment or a tax season, and give that customer financial advice and guidance around that moment where there could be a question and they're looking for that friend versus, again, that utility that we've talked about. That's what's important. That's what drives a conversation and really drives engagement.
And the way we bring that together is through proactive guidance. A customer is really going through a long-term journey with a bank. That's saving for small things, that's saving for big things, that's planning for retirement, that's transitioning to retirement. And the next frontier is understanding that there's always something better that they could or should do along that journey. And what the bank can start to offer is an understanding of, we know who you are by a deep and strong customer 360. And we can pair that with the behaviors, with what we've seen from tens of thousands of other customers, to start to bring that insight at the moment or even before the moment that the customer asks. That kind of proactive guidance allows us to start contextual conversations, allows us to start to bring relevant content to that customer exactly when they need it.
So that sounds great, but how do you deliver these contextual conversations? Where do you begin?
It's a big leap from where most banks are today. And it starts with getting to a clear lighthouse. And that ultimate lighthouse vision starts with a really strong customer 360. It's backed by aggregated data on your existing customer behaviors and the insight you can draw from it, an ability to personalize, and scalable architecture underneath. And one of the key points is that nobody would say, this bank has this nailed. Everybody is along the same journey to enhance the kind of personal experiences that they can offer. For us, where it starts is around a digital product mindset. Put the customer at the center of the objectives and what we do next. From there, how do you start small? How do you get to an MVP and then iterate from it? And all of that needs to be centered on strong prioritization of value over time and scalable modern architecture. So when we bring those together, that's what starts to push us from where we are today to where we need to go.
Exactly. You start small with a welcome message based on the last time they visited the digital storefront or how long they've been a customer with you. And then you go and harness the power of that content, of the profile, and of a decision engine to then really drive a deepening conversation with that customer. When they're in that moment of transacting, make sure they can service their account. But then have the contextual conversation based on your knowledge of them and what they're doing to drive awareness of your products and services. That deepens the relationship. That drives engagement.
Todd, Josh, thank you for being here today. I think our audience is going to find this information very valuable as they continue to move to digital.
Thank you so much. This is obviously a topic we're pretty passionate about. If there are other questions, reach out. We'd love to talk.